Hello, everyone, and welcome to Boston University Men's Lacrosse on WTBU Sports Radio. I'm Joe Poparillis, taking it by myself in the booth today as the Terriers play Colgate. Colgate is 1-2 on the season, while the Terriers are 3-1. And the game just got started up here. Terriers coming off a loss to Army, 12-10. And Colgate was first on the board. We had a few technical difficulties getting the stream up, so I apologize for that. But looks like it was Jacob Spacita with the first goal of the game, just 14:06 into the first quarter. And Colgate's got the early lead, 1-0. They're fighting for it at center field now. And that's finally picked up by Colgate. They're working in the offensive zone. It's Brian Minikis behind the net. Raiders keep working it. Loose ball on the ground, scooped up by the Terriers. But it stays loose. They're scrumming for it right there on the left side. And Colgate recovers. Working around in a very nice save by Matt Garber in net for the Terriers. Keeps it 1-0. And Terrier possession as they try to work it out of their defensive side. Vince D'Alto's working the ball in center field. Substitutions are coming on now. And right now, Matt Hilburn is just cradling it, waiting for his team to set up in the attack. Gives it over to Christian Quadrino. Back to Hilburn. Back to Quadrino near center field. Rolls in, kicks it back. That's a rip on net by number 51, Tommy Bork, but that one goes wide. Nice save by the Colgate netminder, Sean Collins in net. Terriers still have the ball on the left side. It's Tommy Bork again. Gives it all the way back behind the net to Timmy Lay. Timmy Lay with 20 goals in just 4 games this season. He leads the team with an outstanding 5 goals per game pace to start out this early season. And he feeds a nice pass in the middle from behind the net, but that one goes wide. Still 1-0. We're just shy of 12 minutes into the 12 minutes left in the first quarter. It's a new shot clock for the Terriers. As Louis Perfetto works behind the net, facing a tough defense from Colgate. Gives it back to Lay. They're trying to see their options. They're working behind the net right now. Lay comes around, fakes the feed, and gets right in and makes the shot, and he scores. Timmy Lay, what a beautiful fake move to tie the game up. That's his 21st goal of the season. It's his 5th game, and the Terriers are tied up now, 1-1. And that was a beautiful shot. Lay was looking for some options in front of net. He was working behind the whole time, and they're showing the replay here. He fakes the pass, makes a man fall, works back in, dives just to avoid stepping into the crease, and gets it past Sean Collins in net. And his 7 goals against Holy Cross last game, or a couple weeks ago, was a single game record for the program. They just flashed it up. A big reason why he's got 21 goals right now on the year. And he extends his team lead to get the Terriers back into this game, tied. BU wins the faceoff. And it's Donnie Howard working the ball. Howard, the sophomore from Mercer Island, Washington. BU looking to make some more saves. They've got the ball at center field now, trying to set up their next offensive attack. Oh, and a feed from Matt Bauer goes wide. And Colgate recovers. Colgate working fast up the field. rips a shot on it. Looked like Matt Garber was out of his net. They ripped a shot from center field. The camera didn't really pan in time, but Garber had to really adjust to make that save. Something must have been going on in the back end. And but they come out unscathed. It's still 1-1 with just over 10 minutes left. Terriers with 66 seconds on the shot clock and counting, setting up their next offensive sequence. Finds Lay behind the net again. Lay's just standing there. No defender going right to him. He's looking to see a set out. Everyone is marked by Colgate. No openings yet. Lay is taking his time. He circles around, goes one-on-one, fended off there. Nice play by number 39, Will Sadari, the defenseman. It was a solid chance by Anthony Forziati from the right side, but that one is saved by Collins. And Colgate recovers. They're working up the field fast now. That's Michael Menikis. Over to Brian Menikis. And Brian is on the right side now, very wide out near the sideline. He's getting marked by Nicholas Ellerton. And he feeds it back to center field to Adam Salvaggio. Salvaggio tries to get a pass by the goal line, not quite inside, but somewhere between the goal post and the sideline, and he just misses. It rolls out of bounds. That'll be Terrier ball. It was an errant pass. No one really marking who he was intending it to. And Nicholas Ellerton will bring it out from behind to start the next Terrier rush. It was a tricky pass, but a good catch by Hilburn. Saves it from a turnover. He finds Christian Quadrino working down the right side. Finds D'Alto behind the net. Back to Quadrino. Quadrino working around. Finds D'Alto behind the net again. D'Alto picking up the pace a bit. Timmy Lay's on the left side, working in. D'Alto's now the one taking his time behind the net. That's been their approach so far, BU. They're trying to look for the open man. And D'Alto's taking around himself. He tries a nice spin around shot, but that one bounces wide. Didn't really test Collins much there. And it'll be Colgate ball. And a bad turnover by Colgate. The ball's bouncing around. Looks like Hilburn's going to pick it up. And it's still loose. Finally picked up by Louis Perfetto. And Perfetto's got it on the right side. He's working behind the net now. Sends it over to Lay on the right side. Lay evaluating his options. Colgate setting up a pretty stout defense. And Lay's working all the way behind. Stopping and starting, trying to fake his guys out. He finds Perfetto behind the net now. Perfetto waiting for openings. Perfetto working around the right side. He's at the left side of the net. Fakes a behind the head pass. That was a nice play. Leaves his defender in the dust, but gives it up to D'Alto instead. And D'Alto tried to find Lay in the middle, but was snuffed out by the Colgate defense. A good stop by them. And the Raiders are working back up the field now. And that's Menikis on the right side. Sends it behind the net. Over to the left side now. Working it back and forth. Brian Menikis with the ball on the right side again. Ellerton on him. Menikis still working. Finding an opening. Sends it all over to the left side. That's Colin Ruppenstein. Freshman from Darien, Connecticut. And right now, Michael Menikis is working in on the right side. Trying to get space in, but good defensive presence by Patrick Morrison. Colgate still weaving through. Man slips, tries to set up the shot, and he scores. And that was Marshall Terrace, the junior midfielder from Hingham, Mass. And he almost messed up on that play there. It's 2-1. He brings Colgate back in the lead. And we'll be taking a close break, short break, but we'll be talking a little bit more about that goal once we come back. So stay tuned. 2-1 Colgate in the lead now with just over 6 minutes to go in the first quarter. Stay tuned. And we're back now with Terrier Lacrosse on WTBU Sports. That last goal scored by Marshall Terrace. Played a pretty tough game, pretty tough play on Jet Jama. He did a little bit of a step move, kind of tripped a little bit. Didn't seem intentional, but definitely caught Jama off guard. And Marshall was able to take advantage and get the ball back past Matt Garber in net. Colgate back on top, 2-1. Got 6:23 left in the first. That's a face-off in center, and Colgate picks it up right away. That was a nice win there by Thomas Colucci. And Colucci works all the way down, and he scores. Thomas Colucci right off the face-off. Just takes it all by himself. Terrier defense was not able to get set, and Colgate, 6 seconds after scoring their second goal, make it 3-1 on a nice play by the sophomore Thomas Colucci from Westfield, New Jersey. And that was just unable to get set by the Terriers, caught them off guard. And that's Colucci's first goal of the season. This is only his second game played the entire season as well. And he had an assist earlier this year, but that'll be his first goal of the season. As a team, Colgate's shooting 32% on the year, and but opponents are shooting 36.8% on them. Meanwhile, the Terriers are shooting just around 31.5% and only allowing opponents to shoot 20.5%. So good defensive play so far this season by the Terriers. Of course, they had a game against Pace, which was a little bit more of a swayed the numbers there as Pace is a Division II school. But still impressive defense so far, but still Colgate has the edge. And they score again. That was a man-up play. And it's 4-1 now. They had it all by themselves. That was James Cadigan with the goal, the senior attack from Smithtown, New York. And Colgate's starting to pull away here. 5:55 left in the game. And that was just a typical man-up opportunity. They're scoring 22.2% of those on the season. That number is going to go up after that first one today. I'll got to check back to see what that penalty was. Sort of blew right by. But regardless, Colgate extending their lead rather quickly. Just under 6 minutes to go. It's Colucci on the face-off again. That's against Kevin Snyder. Colgate won the face-off, but pass for Manicus went wide. So it's Blake Phillips now working with the ball on the side. He sends it back to Ellerton. Ellerton, a floater pass all the way back up to Phillips. Phillips down to Louis Perfetto behind the net. Perfetto is working on the left side now. He's heading all the way back to midfield. Centers the pass in. That's Matt Hilburn. Matt Hilburn at center field, way back by the logo. He's trying to set up now. Terriers obviously looking to get the ball behind the net like they do to set up. But Christian Quadrino is working down the left side too. He sends it back to the center. That's Vince D'Alto on the right side now. He's trying to find an opening inside. Behind the net. Spins around. Sends it back out. That's Perfetto on the left. Over to Hilburn. Hilburn on the left. Working in. He rips a shot and it goes wide. It's a good look by Hilburn. Created a good amount of space to try to test Collins in net. But missed the net entirely. Still Terrier ball. Lay was there first. He's bringing it in now. He rips one and that one goes wide as well. Terriers chase it down and it'll still be their ball. Just 9 seconds left on the shot clock. Clock is rolling, 4:30 to go and counting. Perfetto brings it out. D'Alto tried to find Lay coming in at the center. It was a good look, but he was unable to secure it, and Collins is able to scoop up the loose ball. Colgate's running it back out now. Colgate taking their time, keeping it in their own defensive zone, moving it right to left. getting some subs on the field, sending it all the way down. Tried to go for a bit of a Hail Mary pass there, but didn't work out. Terriers got there first, and it's going to be their ball from their end. Ellerton sends it up to Hilburn at midfield. Hilburn gets hacked, and there's a stoppage in play. They're continuing again. Now it's Thomas Niedringhaus at midfield. Using his speed to get around some guys. Kicks it back out to midfield. To Patrick Morrison. And that's Brower, actually, but what a rip by Vince D'Alto. That was Brower that sent it to Morrison, and Morrison sent it back to D'Alto, and D'Alto ran through from the right side, a pretty far-range shot, and he rips it to get it past Collins to make it 4-2. They're showing that again. And D'Alto was fed from behind, ripped it from all the way out, bounced it between Collins' legs. A beautiful shot for D'Alto. And that makes it 4-2. D'Alto's the second leading scorer on the team behind Lay. That's his 14th goal of the year so far. This is his 5th game. And D'Alto with 10 assists well. That's tied for the team lead with Louis Perfetto. So D'Alto continuing his scoring stretch along with Lay. They've been the offensive engine so far for this team. They've got both goals so far today. And the Terriers are possessing the ball with 3:16 to go. Keep working the ball around the edges. And that was Nick McFarland on the far side of the field. And Timmy Lay comes in. He's running inside, and he scores! Timmy Lay again for his 2nd goal of the game. And he puts the Terriers down, cuts the Terrier deficit to 4-3. Timmy Lay working from the middle. Got a nice feed from McFarland. Just was getting shoved a bit. Got pushed off a little bit by Jacob Spazita in the defensive end. But Timmy Lay just shrugged him off, used his size. Timmy Lay, of course, he's 5'10", 185, a stocky, good build, strong build from Timmy Lay, and he does not pay any attention to Spazito and is just able to waltz right in and score to cut the deficit to 1. And Colgate's working back now with Manicus. Colgate trying to stretch their lead back up to what it was. Just 2:40 left in the first. BU responding nicely to the quick stretch of goals by Colgate to get a quick little lead. And Colgate's still working. Garber's slightly out of position, but was able to stabilize back in. Terriers doing a good job of marking so far, but it's all for naught as Mike Hawkins from behind the net, the senior attack, is able to work around and score. It seemed like defense, they were set up nicely. They didn't really account for Hawkins behind the net. He was able to come right around, had a lot of space. No one really came after him until he had already shot the ball. And by then, it was past Garber, rips it past to make it 5-3 in Colgate's favor. And that was Phillips on him. Phillips a little bit slow to respond. Phillips was marking him behind the net, but Hawkins was able to slip right past him. And Phillips sort of tripped a little bit on the other end. And by the time Hawkins came around, he was pretty much right at the doorstep and just fed it right past Garber. So not really a defensive lapse as much as Hawkins making a good play on Phillips, who wasn't quite able to keep up. And Timmy Lay is working the ball on the other side now for the Terriers, who won the faceoff. That's Jet Jama in center field now. Running right in. Tries to rip it past. And it's a nice save by Collins. Collins able to get a stick on it and secure it. Good shot by Jama. He had the space to come in with speed. But Colgate retains it. We're just over a minute left. Or a minute 30, rather. Colgate sends it all the way down. And he scores from all the way out there. The camera was late to pan. I apologize for the delay, folks, but that was an unreal shot. Seemed like more of a clearance that went in. I'm not sure what happened with Garber. They're going to show the replay, but that was sophomore defenseman Donnie Gayhart. And I hope they show us that soon because he just ripped out a clearance trying to find the attacker, but it rolled in net. And the feed was a little bit late there, so we'll see what they show, but they're going on with play now. He was in his own half. It looked like he was sending on his attackers, and it bounced into the net somehow. I'm not sure what happened if Gardner wasn't paying attention. Or Garber, was not paying attention, but BU's going to call a timeout here, as they should. That was just a unreal play. And Colgate's leading 6-3 with 1:15 to go. Possession going back and forth here. And momentum, really. Timmy Lay and Vince D'Alto, the scoring machines that they've been all year, have been the main offensive output. And the Terriers suffering from a few defensive lapses in their own end. Not a team-wide, but that last goal by Colgate to make it 6-3 was just out of nowhere. A long-range rip from his own defensive side. And a pretty special goal for Gayhart, one would have to assume. As a defenseman, obviously not up there in the scoring stretch too often. He hasn't tallied a point this year so far. That's his first of the season. And if you're Coach Pauly, that's definitely a place you want to call a timeout there, just to get your team back into it, because that was pretty much an inexcusable goal from that perspective. And Colgate looking to keep things going, making a lot of plays, able to get inside the Terrier defense on most of their scoring plays. So the Terriers need to strap down just a little bit more on their own end. They're able to get some looks on the offensive side. Colgate's been doing a good job closing off the passing lanes. But through Timmy Lay and Vince D'Alto, they're going to have a shot to get some points on the board. D'Alto, the sophomore from Northport, New York, and Lay, the junior from Massapequa. And BU's got the ball now. Matt Hilburn taking it back after the timeout. Sends it behind the net. Let's see what they draw up for their offensive play. Colgate protecting their net. They're staying in there. Weren't really getting attached to too many men's. Weren't trying to get strung out. They stayed packed in front of their net. And it results in a turnover as Collins has the ball now. He was able to snake the ball loose. Colgate's working it up. 50 seconds left. Trying to get one last play in here. They sent it to Minikis on the right side. And right now Hawkins is working it. He's taking it all the way to the right corner. He's working on Patrick Morrison. Brings it all the way to center. Gets past Morrison. Can get a shot off, but it's deflected wide. And Morrison recovers it. He's working up now, but he gets the ball stripped. But Robert Gallup was able to pick it up. Brings it in for a shot, but that's snuffed out by Collins as there's a flag on the field now with 7 seconds left. Or 5. Period's running out now. And looks like they finally stopped the clock. It seemed like there was a few seconds of runoff that should not have been there. And it looks like the Terriers will get their first man-up opportunity. They're 53.3% on the season. Get some more individual stats there after the break because those 2 seconds run off. They'll still have the man-up opportunity entering the second. And that's how it'll end. It'll be 6-3 After one, Colgate in the lead. Timmy Lay with 2 goals for the Terriers. Vince D'Alto with 1. We'll take a quick break, try to get some more information about the penalty on the other end, but stay tuned to WTBU Sports. And we are back now with Patriot League Lacrosse on WTBU Sports Radio. I'm Joe Poverillis. Colgate leading the Terriers 6-3 at the start of the second quarter. And the penalty, which the Terriers will start with a man up, 2 seconds left, was on Thor Adamek for slashing. That's a 1-minute penalty, so the Terriers will have an opportunity to draw it even with a man up. And it's starting with Perfetto on the left side. Perfetto working it back and forth with Matt Bauer. And Quadrino with a shot from center. And that's saved by Sean Collins. Colgate working it back up now. Colgate clears it, and they're sending out some new personnel. Still maintaining the ball. And just trying to clear out this penalty time, which will be ending in about 20 seconds. Hawkins with it way behind in the left corner behind the Terrier net. Just trying to work the time off the clock. So the Terriers able to muster up one shot on the man-up opportunity, but Colgate pretty much taking up all the possession time afterwards. And time runs out as Mike Hawkins is working behind the net now. He's coming in from the left side. He's behind the net looking for options. Spins around Phillips again, and he scores. What a great play by Mike Hawkins, his 12th of the season, his 2nd of the game. And he's still on the ground. He got slapped a little bit, got hit a little bit there, checked up high. We'll check the replay, see if anything happens there. But just a spectacular shot by Mike Hawkins, who worked past Blake Phillips again. Second time this game, Blake Phillips has been beaten by Hawkins on the defensive side. And Hawkins coming pretty much the exact same play from around the net, was able to spin it, almost went behind his head there. We'll see what happens to him, but he's lying on the ground. There's penalty flags on the field. So it looks like Colgate will get another man-up opportunity. We'll see what the referees decide. But Hawkins with another great shot, great offensive play, makes it 7-3 for Colgate very early in the second. And yeah, and it looks like Robert Gallup sort of gave him a shoulder to the head. Hawkins right after scoring, definitely a late hit, letting his frustration out. And there was a bit of a scrum tripping up behind the net too, so the penalty could be involved in that. But most likely, it's going to be the cheap shot by Gallup at the end of the play there. And that's exactly what it will be. 2 minutes on Gallup for unnecessary roughness. Seems like the right call right after the play. Hawkins has his helmet off. He's still down. Gallup took his shoulder, pretty much put it to his head. He's walking off the field now. I'll be surprised to see if there's not anything more as much as head penalties go, but it seems like wasn't super malicious, definitely intentional, and after the play, definitely a penalty, as it should have been. But seems like no further action taken as of right now. Colgate will get back up on the man-up opportunity. And Hawkins is still being checked out. He's got his helmet off. He's on his knees. He's able to stand up. So that's a good sign for Hawkins. He's walking off on his own power. He's got 2 goals already today, 12 on the season. And definitely shaken up a little bit there, but he's walking off. He seems to be all right. And hopefully he'll be able to get back in this game soon for Colgate. Hawkins leads the team in points this year. So that's obviously a major blow if he's not able to come back. Scored his 17th and 18th points of the year so far today with his 2 goals. And he's off the field now. Gallup serving the penalty. And they're taking a little bit of time to start play back up here, but it looks like they will. Colgate with another man-up opportunity. They scored their last one, and they'll have 2 minutes now this time. And they entered today just 2 of 9 on man-up opportunities, now 3 of 10. Trying to make that 4 of 11 for their 11th try of the season. And they're working it around midfield. And they're sending it back and forth now over to the right side. It's Spazita. He's got a goal today. He's working on the left side now. Sends it on the other side. Try to find Nathan Fasanero in the middle. Unable to do so. And Adam Salvaggio. Colgate keeps working. They're taking their time. Terriers are remaining tight on defense, but Salvaggio is open on the left side. They're going to try to look for him. And instead, they go with a shot from, I believe that was a shot from James Cadigan. He's got a goal today as well, but that was stopped by Garber. And the Terriers are able to work the ball back upfield. They survived that onslaught there. Not too many shot attempts, but Colgate definitely taking their time, trying to get some looks as Christian Quadrino is working the ball downfield now. And Quadrino's got the ball all the way behind the net. We're at 12:20, Colgate leading 7-3. 46 seconds left on the shot clock for the Terriers. They're taking their time, setting something up, waiting for the right personnel to come in, trying to get some time off the clock. And Timmy Lay's got the ball now behind the net. Hughes walking, speeds up, sits back, looking for his options, speeds up again, starts to speed up. Fakes a pass, looks around, stills the ball, spinning around now, doing his best, gets a shot off, and that one goes wide. Good work by Timmy Lay, looking to get his 3rd of the day. But it does not go in. Terriers will retain possession. Just 12 seconds left on the shot clock. And Perfetto with a nice look in front of the cage, but he gets called. And no, that was looked like he was looking for something. Sort of got hit a little bit as he was shooting, but nothing there. It was a wide shot from Perfetto. And Colgate trying to clear the ball now, facing some pretty intense pressure. And Colgate unable to clear. So it is Terrier ball. They're not able to get the ball past midfield within 20 seconds. So Terriers are working with it now. Good defensive pressure in the offensive zone there by the Terriers. As Vince D'Alto is working with the ball now, waiting for the right personnel to get on the field. That's Forziati working on the left side now. Forziati coming in. Sends it back, but it's an errant pass, and that goes all the way to midfield. It's picked up by Colgate, where Nathan Fasanero will start with the ball on the left. Sends it back to Michael Manikis. He's working on the left side still. Colgate sending out new players. Marshall Terrace with the ball. Working all the way down the middle. Gets behind the net. Sends it way back to Brian Manikis. Manikis fumbles around there, but spins around. He's using a lot of speed. Sends it to the middle. Nice inside pass to Brendan Jordan, but Jordan was not able to get any good looks at. So it's back to Fasanero, on the outside. And Colgate calls a timeout with 34 seconds left on the shot clock. And the two teams will convene. Hawkins is at the bench, took a sip of water, still has his helmet off. He's walking around a bit. Unsure if he'll be able to get back into this one. There's no medical staff around him. He's stretching out a little bit on his own. Trying to stay loose, probably looking to get back in this game if he can. No staff members around him to evaluate. And we'll see what happens at the other end. Colgate still with possession, leading 7-3 in the second period with around 10 minutes to go. And we'll be back shortly. Don't go anywhere. And we're back with Terry Lacrosse on WTVU Sports. Colgate with the ball now. After the timeout, Marshall Terrace works in, and he scores. That's a goal by Marshall Terrace. And Colgate extends their lead to 8-3. Nice feed there by Michael Manikis. That's Marshall's third goal of the season, his second of the game. And Colgate continues to stretch their lead here. Face-off working in now. Colgate's able to get the ball back. And Colgate's continuing to work with it. There's 8:40 left on the clock for the second. BU defense is trying to chase the guys out. And a nice shot inside by Adam Salvaggio as he tries to work inside, but that's stopped by Garber. Sends it far. Robert Gallup's able to get it back. Gallup fends off a tough defender, maybe trying to get some shots in after his hit on Hawkins. And Vince D'Alto's working alone on the left side. Spinning around, getting checked a bit. Resets with Thomas Niedringhaus. Finds Lay behind the net, who sends it back out to Niedringhaus. Spins around, gets a shot in. As he was falling, that was a tough look by him, but Collins is able to get it back. And Lay with a beautiful poke check. And what a wonderful play by Timmy Lay. Sean Collins wasn't paying attention. He had the ball scooped up behind his own net, and Timmy Lay was still there. Dropped the ball out. Ground ball was picked up by Perfetto, and by that point, Collins was already behind his net. Collins had no clue Lay was there, and Lay just knocked the stick right out of his hands. And yard sale to the absolute prime definition by Timmy Lay. Of course, Collins wasn't expecting it, wasn't protecting his stick, but Lay with a heads-up move there. Collins with a bit of a head scratcher and unsure why he was not aware that the BU attacker was still behind the net. But either way, the ground ball is scooped up by Perfetto, and he's probably the easiest goal he'll see all year, just an empty net for him to put it right in and get BU back on the board. Louis Perfetto, that's his 5th goal of the season. Not sure Lay will get credit for the assist, but that pretty much counts as one, as he was the one who sparked the play and was able to get Perfetto the ball. So it may not go down in the box score, but Lay continuing to make big moves on the offensive side. BU's got the ball again. It's fumbled around a little bit there by Quadrino, but he sends it over to Hilburn. Hilburn on the right, trying to work in now. Gets fended off, sends it all the way back to D'Alto. D'Alto spins around now, around center net. Almost falls over. Keeps spinning, looking for space. He ends up losing the ball. Picks it back up around midfield. 38 seconds left on the shot clock. 6:40 to go in the quarter. And Quadrino now trying to find space. He's forced to the right side. Perfetto's open behind the net, but Quadrino's still working with it on the right side. Looks in. Tried to find D'Alto inside, but it got tipped away. And Colgate's able to get the ball back and bring it back up. They've successful clearance. But the ball gets knocked loose again. And BU picks it up. Great defensive play, trying to counter the clearance. And James Corcoran is all alone with the ball first on the right side. Finds Hilburn on the left. Hilburn standing, waiting for his options. Almost falls over, tries to get a little bit of a sidestep in there to juke the guys out. And a good offensive play there by Tommy Bork. But Colgate's able to snuff it out. And they got the ball back again. Trying to get the clear out. At 7 seconds, they still haven't cleared. Finally, they rip it all the way out. And Garber playing out of his net again. It looked like they were trying to get a far shot in. But it's still Colgate ball. And Jacob Spazita working all alone. He's on the right side, trying to find guys in. Brendan Jordan is sneaking out left. He's doesn't have anyone on him. Tracks attention now, so he's covered up. But Colgate missed an opportunity to find him open for a shot. And a rough pass by Thor Adamek. He tried to find Colin Ruppenstein on the other side, but it went wide. And Patrick Morrison will bring it up for the Terriers. Gets the clear out. Gallup sends it to the right, over to Lay. Lay to Perfetto. Perfetto back out. Good shot by D'Alto, who rips it in. And Collins didn't even see it, but he managed to make the save. He's hit his stick, and it bounced down. That's when he finally got his eyes on the ball. So D'Alto misses an opportunity to strike when Collins is not aware of the ball movement, but gets unlucky placement, and Morrison survives. Heaves it down, trying to get the clearance. He was at risk of turning the ball over, and he does so anyway, but Morrison starting in his own end. Sends it over the middle. Clearance is good, 74 seconds on the shot clock. And Blake Phillips working in now. He finds Lay on the right side. Leveled in the net to Perfetto behind the net. Perfetto over to D'Alto on the left side. And McFarland is waiting on the right. But Ben Girolamo's working in. Girolamo, the junior from Pelham, New York. Back over to D'Alto. He tries to bounce one in, but that one rolls wide. Timmy Lay is there to retain possession. 3:30 left in the second, 41 seconds on the shot clock. And Timmy Lay all alone. BU looking to make some substitutions. And Lay waiting with the ball, trying to get something started. And they pick up again. Lay sends it out to Quadrino. Back to McFarland. Bauer now. Sends it over to Lay on the right. Lay fakes the pass. Good look over to D'Alto over the middle. And D'Alto had to catch that in the air and sort of alley-oop it and with his stick and slam it down on the come-up. He had to elevate to get that pass and was able to get it off nicely, but not enough power behind it, and Collins is able to stop it. That would have been a highlight reel play. Another one that Timmy Lay has executed, but does not go into the net. It's still 8-4 with just under 3 minutes to go. Colgate unable to get the clear. It's scooped up by the Terriers instead. And a nice pass to D'Alto. But they're calling it a turnover here. Seemed like a Terrier defenseman may have encroached into the offensive zone on that last loose ball there. And Colgate's setting up now. 2:30 to go in the half. Colgate working down behind the net. Hawkins has still not appeared for the Raiders. He's still out after his goal and the hit by Robert Gallup that sent him to the sidelines, kept him down. But meanwhile, Marshall Terrace is looking for his third goal, working behind the net. Sends it out to Adam Salvaggio on the left side. He rolls in, gets the shot off, and a good stop by Garber. He deflects that one out of play. But it remains Colgate ball. They get back to it first as it's rolling out, and they reset. That's Sposito working plenty of space by his own half. Sends back over to the middle. Salvaggio back to Sposito. Sposito working back to Salvaggio. Salvaggio tries again in the middle. And the Terrier defense collapses on him, unable to get the shot off, and a great play overall by the defense that has had trouble with Colgate players being able to get by them one-on-one. Instead, about 3-4 converged on him, and they're working up the field quickly as Timmy Lay's got the ball now. He works in, and he scores. Timmy Lay. He had plenty of space to get through and do some damage, and he gets his third goal of the game, his 23rd goal of the season, and it's 8-5. Colgate with the lead still, but Timmy Lay is carving in. It's 1:13 left in the half. And as I was mentioning before, what set that goal up was a good defensive effort by the Terriers converging in. As I mentioned, they'd been beaten one-on-one multiple times, especially by Hawkins, who is not in. But that's another hat trick yet again for Timmy Lay. He's got a hat trick every game this season, 3 goals on 5 shots today. And, of course, he was averaging 5 goals per game entering the contest, had 7 against Holy Cross earlier this season, and just having a tremendous offensive year from the junior. And it's a stalemate in the face-off. They're really working at it, both sides. This is the longest I've ever seen a face-off go. And they're both pushing for it. They're trying to get momentum here. Finally squeaks loose, and the Terriers are able to get it. That's Gallup racing down the field there, trying to pick up the momentum. Back to Lay. Lay spinning around. And there's a stoppage here. And it looks like that'll be a timeout by BU with 40 seconds left. And they're going to try to game plan a little bit more. There's 72 seconds left on the shot clock. That, of course, is more than the game clock right now. They're going to try to set up one last play to try to cut this deficit to 2 before the half ends. And Lay, working with plenty of space, gets by the defender right up close and personal to Collins in net. Bangs his chest a couple times. Another hat trick again for Timmy Lay, and he's going to look to increase that goal total in the second half. Of course, there's still 40 seconds left as BU is talking and planning. BU, of course, trying to continue their solid stretch to start the year. That Holy Cross game was last Friday where they won 16-6. Only loss of the year came 2 weeks ago against Army when they narrowly lost 12-10. And then, of course, they beat Pace early in the year 15-2. And they opened the season with a 15-12 victory over Merrimack. And that's been their setup so far. Colgate, meanwhile, is 1-2 on the year. They lost the season opener to Robert Morris 17-14. Then lost to Albany, ranked 20th in the country at that point, 15-9. And they themselves are coming off their first victory, but that was 2 weeks ago, a 12-11 overtime win over Holy Cross, and their game against Army last weekend was postponed. So this is Colgate's first game in 2 weeks, and they've got the lead here as BU setting up again now. Lay has it behind, 30 seconds left. Lay continuing to work, trying to find his own path. He rips a shot. He worked out to the left side of the net from behind, and it went wide, but Quadrino was there. He's going to pick it up from behind the net now. 25 seconds to go. Lays out to the left. Now's a shot by D'Alto. Or no, that was Nick McFarland. Excuse me. Nick McFarland, instead of D'Alto, had the shot out by left. And that's able to bounce in for a goal. BU doing exactly what they set out to accomplish on that play, trying to set up a scoring opportunity. And that was Nick McFarland. Obviously, both ones on the back of their jerseys between him and D'Alto, but that's McFarland, the junior midfielder from Severna Park, Maryland. That's near my parts, relatively speaking. I've been to Severna Park a couple times from Maryland myself, but no need to get into that. And a nice shot from McFarland. And it's 8-6 now, 10 seconds left and counting. Colgate's trying to get back on the board here quickly, but BU is able to get the ball out. And they send it all the way down, and that'll do it for the half. BU with the last-second goal from Nick McFarland, and they cut the deficit to 2. It's 8-6. Colgate leads, but BU is slowly chalking back. They were down 7-3 and then 8-4, and have since ended the half with a bit of a goals advantage, obviously still trailing. But anyone can win this one. It's definitely far from over here. Halftime here at Nickerson Field. Reporting remotely, I'm Joe Pohorillas from WTBU Sports. We'll be back after the half. And we are back with Patriot League Lacrosse on WTBU Sports Radio. I'm Joe Pohorilis. BU is playing Colgate. Colgate leads 8-6 at the start of the second half, and they open with possession to start off. Colgate working the ball around. We'll get to some halftime stats in a second. But right now, Brian Manickas is working behind the net on Blake Phillips. Manickas spins around. And a nice save by Garber. There's a loose ball, but it rolls out. And they're staying. It's still Colgate's. Reset shot clock. As James Cadigan was able to send it out. Jacob Spazita now with the ball on the left side. Sends it into Salvaggio. Salvaggio over to Cadigan. Cadigan and Manickas behind the net. Manickas could have shot it. Long-range shot from the outside, but it rolls wide. It'll remain Colgate's ball. That was Spazita with the long look. 13:20 left, no score, but it's been all Colgate to start the half. And a nice tip. Good defensive play, and see if he can outspeed him. And that was Roy Meyer, the long stick mid, with a nice defensive play. And they're still fumbling for the ball. But they're calling it BU's favor. Looked like D'Alto was shoved a bit, bumped a bit from behind. And no penalty, but they are giving BU the ball. And Quadrino starts around the logo. He's working in on the left. Finds Perfetto on the inside. That misses, but Lay is able to recover from behind the net. Sends it inside to Tommy Bork, and he scores. It's an assist by Timmy Lay. And Tommy Bork with the goal, his third of the season, first of the game. And BU is back within one. It was a wide shot by Perfetto, but Lay was able to pick the ball. Good feed by Quadrino, but Lay was able to cover quickly, and Bork swept right in. It was a quick play. Collins wasn't able to keep track of the ball. He was spinning around back and forth as Lay had the ball behind the net. And a great execution there. Tommy Bork puts the Terriers within one. It's 8-7 now. For the halftime stats, BU was leading in total shots entering the second half. They had 24 compared to Colgate's 16, but Colgate was leading in shots on goal 14-13. Ground balls were even at 15 apiece. Colgate had 11 turnovers to BU 6, and BU was perfect on clears, going 11 for 11, while Colgate was 9 of 12. And Colgate had 9 face-off wins to BU's 5. So, except for the scoreline and the face-offs, BU has been winning most of these categories. Of course, the one on the board is the one that counts the most. And they're crawling back into this one, only down 1, but Colgate possesses the ball with just under 12 minutes to go in the third. And they're cycling, trying to find the open look. And that's Terrace, who tries to send the ball in the middle. It's a nice pickup by Brian Manickas. Manickas. And a shot by Brendan Jordan, and it scores. Brendan Jordan from far out gets a bouncing ball in past Garber. And Colgate, with their first goal since it was 8-4. And BU had scored 4 straight. It could have been 8-3, if I remember correctly. But either way, Jordan gets some more breathing room for Colgate in the scoreline. It's 9-7 now. And BU wins the faceoff. That was Kevin Snyder, who won the faceoff and immediately rushed in, trying to get a quick shot on goal. But he's tipped from behind, ended up turning it over, so it's Colgate ball now. Colgate just able to clear it. They've struggled a little bit with that in this game. Obviously, they were 9 for 12 in the first half. BU was perfect 11 for 11. And just as I mentioned that, they were able to get the ball past midfield, but they step out of bounds, and it's Terrier ball. 11 minutes to go here. 9-7, Colgate leading. And, of course, their overall records, Colgate 1-2, BU 3-1. But in conference play, Colgate is 1-0 after their overtime win over Holy Cross last week, or 2 weeks ago. And BU is 1-1 after losing to Army and beating Holy Cross. They've got the ball now. They're trying to get to 2-1 in conference play, 4-1 on the season. As D'Alto's got the ball in front. Attempts the pass, but that was a nice stick down by Will Rosenblatt, the freshman defenseman from Boulder, Colorado. He got his stick in there and was able to bounce it down and secure it, and stops the Terrier offensive possession. It's a long ball to try and get the clear. And it bounces out. Looks like, yep, it's another failed clearance from Colgate as Patrick Morrison starts the ball. Sets it over to Ellerton, who sends it over the line to Will Carson. BU setting up, and that's the fourth failed clearance by Colgate of the game so far, having some trouble with that. Maybe taking a little bit too much time. BU setting up nice defensively as Matt Hilburn comes in on the left side. Timmy Lay stationed behind the net. D'Alto playing some back and forth catching with Anthony Forziati. D'Alto now cycling behind the net. Timmy Lay comes out from front as Hilburn tries to find a spot in as well. Lay, Forziati, and Hilburn working. And a nifty behind the back shot from Hilburn. He was on his way down. He was crashing forward, and he tried to get a last gap shot, but that goes wide. That could have been on SportsCenter top 10 if that one went in, but still 9-7. Colgate with the ball. That was a turnover after the shot, and they're back in the offensive side. Working in now. That's Manikis on the right. Spazita in center. And Michael Manikis, of course, Michael and Brian working behind the net. Two brothers from Darien, Connecticut. Brian, the junior attack, and Michael, the freshman attack. Both playing on the same field with Colgate. And Brian sends it inside. He's looking for Nathan Fasanaro, who had some nice positioning on Garber. He was right at the crease, but the pass falls short, and BU is able to come back up with it. Vince D'Alto with a nice rip, and BU scores. Vince D'Alto with a beautiful shot, just got the ball pretty much immediately after the clearance and had enough space to rip it, and that's his 15th goal of the season. There's just 8 minutes to go in the third, but Vince D'Alto with a beautiful play. Sent in, sneaks around the defenseman, gets it past Collins. And Vince D'Alto with another great play. That's his second goal of the day. Still no sign of Mike Hawkins for Colgate. He was, of course, knocked out of the game when Robert Gallup delivered a pretty late hit to his head after he had scored a goal, his second of the day. That's Colgate's leading scorer. Colgate's still able to get some offensive production without him, but definitely struggling with obviously they want to have their top scorer on the field, and he has not made an appearance yet since going out with the injury. Perfetto with the ball now. Rips a shot. Good save by Collins. That was a low shot. Collins able to get his stick down. And he sends it out for Colgate. Colgate still taking their time. 10 seconds left to clear. It's with midfielder Ryan Decker right now, 62-61, and they're not going to clear that in time. Yeah, Decker was very nonchalant about it. He was very far from the midfield line, and that was definitely clock mismanagement as Vince D'Alto finds Lay out front. Lay rips a shot, but that's tipped by Collins. Collins with a good look there. It's Colgate ball again, but it seems like they keep on giving up opportunities here, not really paying attention to the shot clock. Decker didn't seem to know that he was running out of time there. And Colgate able to clear this time. Finds Brian Manickas on the right to his brother Michael behind the net. It's on the left side now. Finds Colin Ruppenstein in the middle, going back and forth with Brendan Jordan. Over to Brian Manickas now. Unable to penetrate the Terrier defense. They got a nice setup here. It's 34 seconds left on the shot clock. Colgate very meticulous with where they want to shoot from. As evidenced by the first half stats, they had fewer shots, but more shots on goal, have been able to convert a lot more, have been a lot more efficient with their shooting chances. And Ruppenstein's working the ball around now. And a nice grab. That was a second great defensive play this half by Roy Meyer, the long stick mid. He just picked that one out of the air, the cross-field pass. And Morrison sends it to D'Alto. And D'Alto with another goal. Vince D'Alto with a hat trick to tie the game. 9-9. 5:20 left in the third. And Morrison, right off the Roy Meyer interception in the defensive zone, sends it up to Patrick Morrison. Morrison finds D'Alto, who's set up. And he rips another shot for his third goal of the game. Vince D'Alto, what a play, what a half to start out. And with 5:20 left, we're going to take a quick break. It's all tied 9-9, so don't go anywhere. And we are back with Patriot League Lacrosse on WTBU Radio. I'm Joe Pohorilis. Vince D'Alto just tied the game up. He's got 3 goals on 6 shots. And the sophomore has a point in every game of his career. He's the second leading scorer on the team behind Timmy Lay and making an impact right away in his short Terrier career. Obviously, didn't have much of a freshman season last year, was able to play a few games before the pandemic cut it short, but has been off to a terrific start as a sophomore. Colgate wins the faceoff. And they're trying to work it back out to bring this lead, or build back their lead, rather. Of course, BU's come back to tie the game. And it's Brian Manickas on the right again. Sends it back to Jacob Spazita. Playing catch around midfield. Spazita's back with it again. He was tossing it to Adam Salvaggio. Salvaggio back with the ball again. Salvaggio all the way behind the net now. To Michael Manickas, who passes it back out. Picking up the pace now in the offensive zone. 30 seconds to shoot. Over to Michael Manickas on the left. Down to Salvaggio. Salvaggio attempts the feed, but a nice pickoff there by Will Carson, the defense. And BU sends it back up again, trying to get this lead. Be their first lead of the game. They, of course, gave up the first goal and was tied 1-1, but they had not. This is the first time they tied. The score was tied, rather, since early in the game. And Vince D'Alto's waiting for more, for the right personnel to come on. Matt Hilburn with the ball now by the logo. He's getting tracked closely by Ryan Decker. And the ball sent over to the right side. It's Quadrino. Sends it back to Perfetto behind the net. Perfetto comes back outside. He's getting pushed lightly. Spins around a couple times. Has a lot of pressure on him. Gives it to D'Alto. Gets it back to Perfetto, though. Perfetto rips a shot. And a good save by Collins. He got to stick out there, but it bounces back out. And D'Alto's got the ball with the reset shot clock. And right now it's Quadrino running through on the right. Over to D'Alto. D'Alto spins, fakes the shot, spins again. He's got two guys in front of him. Obviously, he's been pretty lights out this whole entire season, so they want to make sure he doesn't cause any more damage on Colgate's part. There's a loose ball, but Colgate comes up with it. It's going to start back with Collins, who gives it back to his defense, Donnie Gayhart. He had the long goal earlier in this game. They never showed the replay for that. Garber playing out of his net. And it happened again. That's the second long goal. I apologize for the delay. The camera has not been panning over. And that's Michael Leah this time, the sophomore defenseman, who's able to score from very long range. Garber obviously leaving his net unattended during BU offense possessions, and that's 2 goals now scored by Colgate from their own defensive side by a defenseman. Michael Leah, the sophomore. And I just don't know what happened there. They weren't unable to show it. But that looks like that's definitely his first goal of the season. And that looks like his first career goal, unless I'm mistaken, based on a quick glance. But that's his first career goal from his own half. And Colgate is back on top with just 2 minutes left in the third quarter rather. And Colgate has the ball again. They're working in the offensive zone. Seems like another breakdown there. Just some unprepared. Garber not playing in his net as Colgate rips another shot. That was from Marshall Terrace. That one goes wide. Still Colgate ball, 38 seconds left on the shot clock. Quick workaround, but it goes wide, excuse me. And Roy Meyer working up now, trying to get the clearance. He does. Going to set up the Terrier attack. Brings it over to Robert Gallup, who sends in the middle. And an ambush of Colgate defenders gets on Will Carson and Kevin Snyder in the middle. They try to get a look on net, but there were 4 guys surrounding them, 4 Raiders rather, and are unable to get anything done. Collins was able to scoop it up. There's a minute 18 to go. but it'll stay Terrier ball. That was an interference call on Michael Leah, so it's a 30-second man-up opportunity. That's why it stays with the Terriers. And Perfetto's working at center field. Perfetto playing catch with Bauer. Perfetto sends it over to Matt Hilburn. Hilburn sends it back. Perfetto back to Hilburn. Hilburn with a close-up shot, and he scores. And BU ties it 10-10. And some nice play by Bauer to Perfetto. Perfetto found Hilburn inside, and he underhands it, scoops past Morrison. And that's Hilburn's first of the game. First of the season as well. Matt Hilburn, he ties it up with just under a minute to go. And a nice look by Perfetto, and Hilburn himself was positioned nicely. He had a defenseman behind him, but otherwise had a very clear look. He was right outside the crease on the left post, essentially. And I was able to get a nice close-up shot. Not a lot Collins could do about it. Needed some stick luck to get past it, but Hilburn was essentially right by the doorstep. And BU gets the ball back again. Dalto behind the net now. He swaps out for Lay. Gives the ball to Lay behind the net. Lay challenging Will Rosenblatt. Lay working around. A nice spin move. Shot goes wide, but it'll stay with the Terriers. Still 41 seconds on the shot clock, but just 14 seconds left in the quarter. Moving down on an errant pass, gets recovered by Colgate. Colgate, just 7 seconds left. Brian Manickas running all the way down, tries to get a shot off at the last second, and it goes wide as the quarter runs out. A nice last gasp chance by Colgate. They had to get the ball upfield pretty quickly. Manickas used all his speed there to try to get at least one chance off. Unable to go through. It goes wide. And we are at the end of the third with the game tied 10-10. We will be back for the fourth quarter action. You do not want to go anywhere. We will be right back. And we are back with some fourth quarter action of Patriot League Lacrosse. BU hosting Colgate. The game is tied 10-10. Colgate led pretty much from the start. They got their first goal within the first minute or two. And they've held the lead ever since. They've been tied a couple times. But now, that most recent goal by Matt Hilburn ties the game up 10-10. And just start of the fourth quarter, BU wins the faceoff. after a violation. And Hilburn stalking around the midfield logo with the ball. 70 seconds on the shot clock. They're going to take their time to set something up. Forziati back on the field now. It's Quadrino coming in wide, sends it behind the net to Perfetti. Perfetti feeds it. And it's a goal by Forziati. Perfetti from behind the net. Forziati came from the left side, cut in through the middle, and received it right on the doorstep on the right post, and was able to get it past Collins to put Terriers in the lead for the first time all day. Anthony Forziati, his 4th goal of the season to match his jersey number. Great pass by Quadrino, and a great look by Forziati. Just used his momentum. Momentum was taking him past the goal. He might have went wide on that shot, but he used his body control to corral it and pretty much immediately tap it right into the net. And some great body control, some great possession, and just athleticism by Forziati to put the Terriers on top for the first time all day. And Colgate wins the next face-off, but they're trailing for the first time. And they're resetting here. They've got 11 seconds to clear. They've had this issue before. Sent up to Connor Brook, and they tried to clear it. And he was pushed out of... Yeah, there was a stoppage in play. Coach Poli is not happy about it. And they're giving Colgate the ball. Starting with Brendan Jordan. Cycling in now. Sends it over to Jacob Spazita. Spazita working it from center on Gallup. Over to James Cadigan. Cadigan's pass is not picked up cleanly by Salvaggio, and Salvaggio is pushed all the way out to center by John Marshall. But he keeps it. Sends it all the way back to Brian Manikis. Gives it back to Spazita all the way on in center field. Spazita trying to work around. 22 seconds left, and it's a wide pass that goes all the way out of bounds. Great defensive pressure by the Terriers on that play. And right now, Will Carson is retrieving the ball. He's going to start the play. Garber far out of his net as the possession starts. Of course, that led to a couple goals. And right now it's BU possession. Niedringhaus is back on the field with Jet Jama. Niedringhaus gives it to Perfetto behind the net. Back to Niedringhaus on the left side. Finds a look, rips a shot, and it goes well wide. Not quite strong, not a very strong shot attempt. It might have been looking for a pass, but hard to tell. It went pretty wide. There's got 13 minutes left in the game, in regulation, I should say, at this point. And 50 seconds and counting on the shot clock as Perfetto starts the ball behind the net. He comes back outside. Lay is shifting behind in his place. Gives it back to D'Alto. D'Alto into Niedringhaus, and he scores! Vince D'Alto to Niedringhaus. And the Terriers extend their lead to 2. That's Niedringhaus' first goal of the season. And with 12:46, BU is building a 2-goal lead against Colgate. Colgate, of course, the Patriot League representative in NCAA tournament for basketball, March Madness. I had them going winning the first round against Arkansas for the upset. Maybe some Patriot League bias, but of course that did not come to play. They were leading for a little bit. They had a good start, but were unable to get it done. Arkansas and the Razorbacks moved on instead. But Colgate, the Patriot League champions, and BU, of course, their men's basketball team won the Patriot League last year, and were unable to play the tournament as BU wins the faceoff, gets upfield quickly, and a nice attempt. Will Carson all the way up, and he tried a behind the back play because the ball was sort of escaping him, and but it was still Colgate's ball. Still Blake Phillips with a nice turnover. He gets the ball back. BU working quickly. And Vince D'Alto plenty of space right in front. He tries to scoop it underhanded to get in the net, but Collins is there. He blocks it. That was a great chance for D'Alto to score again and put the Terriers up 3, but instead Colgate's coming back. And that's Cadigan behind the net. Sends it out to Marshall Terrace on the left side. Terrace cycling back behind the net instead. And the pass is too high from Terrace, trying to find Brian Manickas, but that's a turnover again for Colgate, who's losing momentum. That's 2 poor passes on 2 consecutive possessions. Of course, they've had trouble getting clearances as well this year. And they call a timeout. Obviously, they're losing some momentum. And we're going to take a quick break. BU with the lead now, 12-10 over Colgate. Just under 12 minutes left. Do not go anywhere. We'll be back. And we are back with Patriot League Lacrosse on WTBU Sports Radio. BU with the 12-10 lead with just under 12 minutes to go. They've been trailing all game. And Colgate calls a timeout after a pretty rough turnover. BU starting with the ball again. Garber playing far out of his net, as he likes to do. That's led to 2 Colgate goals from long range. If they wipe those out, it would have been could be 12-8 with the Terrier leading by 4 as opposed to 2. Those are 2 goals that definitely seemed avoidable. Gave a couple of Colgate defensemen their first goals of the season, if not for their whole career. And that was a rip by D'Alto from the left side, picked up by Lay, who tries a one-handed wraparound shot, but that's deflected as well. And Quadrino picks it up instead. Quadrino behind the net, gives it to D'Alto on the right side. D'Alto all the way back to Lay, who's starting out pretty deep. Back to Quadrino on the right. Lay has not scored since the first half. He's behind the net with the ball, maybe looking to change that. Sends it around one side. Finds Quadrino behind the net instead. Quadrino, nice spin move behind there. Looks for the opening. Finds Lay. Or no, that's Perfetto, and he scores. Quadrino to Perfetto Louis Perfetto in the center right in front of the net. And Perfetto is able to put it to the back for his 6th goal of the season to extend the Terrier lead to 13-10. And BU is really showing their resilience here. They were trailing the whole time. Colgate came out with the momentum. We're leading through the first quarter, first half, pretty much until the end of the third quarter. And Perfetto with just enough space to receive the pass on the left side right in front of net and shoot it right into the back. And a great shot by Louis Perfetto. And BU just continues to extend their lead. And BU wins the faceoff as well. That's picked up by Dane DeGoller. And they're resetting with D'Alto. Niedringhaus is back on the field. He's got the ball all alone on the left side. He's got being defended by Owen Callahan. Niedringhaus rips a shot, but it's saved, and Colgate's able to recover. They get the clearance. Ripping down the field is Michael Leah. He scored a goal earlier, and he's taking it all by himself. He comes in on net, and he scores. Michael Leah with his second goal of the game, this time much closer than his first one. He's got a 2-goal game, his first goals of the season, and possibly of his career. He just came in right after the turnover, bounced it right through Garber's legs, and he's pumped up after that one. He cuts the deficit to 2 goals now for Colgate. Michael Leah having a very strong game today. And they're going to take a face-off with just under 10 to go. Colgate not falling out of this one. And they pick up the face-off as well. That's Thor Adamek. And they're setting up quickly. Cadigan over to Meskina on the right side. Or Manicus, sorry. Excuse me. Manicus. Brian Manicus behind the goal. Takes a pretty big hit from Donnie Howard. But Colgate maintains possession. That's Salvaggio up front. Looking for Spakina. Or Spazita, excuse me. I'm getting my tongue tied up a little bit here as we're getting late in the game. 9 minutes left. Colgate taking their time. 25 seconds left on the shot clock. Rips a shot, but saved by Garber. And Roy Myers bringing the ball up. Garber bringing it out himself now. They got 9 seconds to clear. They do. That was Ben Girolamo able to get the ball passed. As Nick McFarland now bringing the ball up. He has one already today. Will try to stretch the lead even further. Gives it to D'Alto. Back to McFarland. McFarland working around center. Gives it to Hilburn. Hilburn over to Timmy Lay on the left side. Lay cutting in. He rips it. And that rings off the crossbar. Timmy Lay almost scored again. Hilburn gets out of bounds. Reset shot clock with exactly 8 minutes to go. And Timmy Lay almost got back on the board again. Hilburn coming in with a lot of space. He doesn't shoot. Instead sends it back to D'Alto. D'Alto over to Perfetti in the middle. Perfetto. And that's saved, but it's loose. It squeals loose. But Colgate's able to pick it up. And the feed's starting to lag a little bit, folks. So I apologize for any delays or cutoffs, but Colgate with the ball now. They're in the Terrier half. They're looking to tie this game up. Still got 2 to go to do that. Running all by himself is Manicus, Brian Manicus. He's behind the net, sends it back out to Cadigan. Cadigan over to Marshall Terrace. Terrace working all alone on Gallup. Terrace goes behind the net to Manicus. All the way back out. Colgate running through on McFarland. Gives it back to Manicus. Manicus posted behind the net, but he starts to squeal out. Trailing out now. Esposito was there. And a nice shot by Adam Salvaggio. That's stopped by Garber. And BU will turn it back upfield now. 12 seconds to clear. Garber does a nice job finding the outlet pass. It's Roy Meyer, sends it back to Quadrino. That's James Corcoran. Gives it over to Forziati. Forziati over to Perfetto behind the net. Goes outside. to D'Alto. D'Alto's behind the net now. D'Alto working behind the net, comes back around, finds Lay in the middle, behind the, oh my goodness, Timmy Lay from D'Alto, he scores. And was that behind the head? That looked like it might have been behind the head. I hope they show the replay for that. But regardless of how it went in, Timmy Lay gets back on the goal sheet for the 24th time this season and the 4th time today. And let's see that again. Finds Timmy Lay, who behind the head. Are you kidding me? Oh my goodness. Timmy Lay putting on a show here. Got the ball from behind the net from D'Alto, was running inside and just flipped it behind his head to get into net. Showing off a little bit today. Getting his 4th goal of the game. Extending the lead to 3 again. And Timmy Lay is just having his way here. Just under 6 minutes to go. It's Terrier possession. Terriers looking at conference play. They have the most number of man-up goals, but they've played 2 games while half the conference has only played 1 or less. So this, in terms of in-conference play, so that obviously these numbers will change. This was entering today. They do have the highest shot percentage in the conference, though. Entering today, they were at 30.6% in conference play, which was the highest of Patriot League. Colgate right behind them with 30%. And both mid-pack and shots per game. BU with 22 or 45 points through 2 conference games, which was second most in the league. I might dip down a bit given how this game is going. But either way, still leading offensively. And Timmy Lay with the ball now. Nice recovery. Had to snake the ball out between 2 Colgate defenders and got a shot off, but it went wide. It's going to be Colgate ball instead. And we are going to have a BU timeout. 4:46 to go. BU leads 14-11. We'll be back with the remainder of the 4th quarter, so don't go anywhere. This is WTBU Radio, and we'll be back soon. We're back with Patriot League Lacrosse on WTBU Sports Radio. BU leading 14-11 over Colgate. They've got the ball now. 4.5 minutes to go. 7 seconds on the shot clock. Timmy Lay spinning around. Tries to get a shot off. It goes wide. And it would be BU possession, but it looks like the shot clock ticked out as the ball was rolling out. So it'll be Colgate's ball. Colgate having trouble clearing the ball today, but they managed to pull it off this time. They got to score pretty quickly and get 3 goals within 4 minutes to try to tie this thing up, of course, without letting BU score as well. They've been pretty meticulous in terms of their shot attempts. That's what they've been like all season. They've got a high shooting percentage as a team, but they're going to have to ramp it up here if they want to get back. Michael Manickas working behind the net. Sends outside, trying to find a good look. Salvaggio sent it behind to Brian Manickas. He's getting harassed now by Will Carson. And to avoid turning the ball over, Colgate calls another timeout. So with 3:26 left and 28 seconds on the shot clock, Colgate's got the ball. And Hawkins, who we mentioned earlier, scored 2 goals before getting hit after his second one. It seemed like a bit of a shoulder to the head, although Gallup is still able to play, so may not have been as egregious, but that's how it looked on here. And Hawkins, he still has his helmet off. He has not returned to the game, but he's been active on the sideline. He's in the huddle with them, despite not being suited up with the helmet to play. And that's their scoring leader for Colgate. So you got to think, if Hawkins was still in this game, where the score line would be at. A lot of what ifs. You just hope that Hawkins is okay, even if he can't return for this matchup, which it seems like would be the case. Only 3.5 minutes to go, but either way, it seems like he's walking around just fine. Doesn't seem like he's in any particular pain. Could need to be checked out for concussion symptoms, depending on where he was hit. But otherwise, looks to be fully active and definitely looks to be relatively okay. So that's good news for just in general. You never want to see anybody go down like that. So good news on that end. Of course, won't be able to help them in this game. Colgate leading 6-3 after the first quarter. BU cut it to a 2-goal deficit by going 3-2 in the second. Then BU tied it, going 4-2 in the third. And they've since scored 4 fourth-quarter goals compared to Colgate's 1. And so they're still up by 3. Colgate coming in after the timeout. Speaking a little bit about the conference-wide stats in Patriot League play. And, of course, BU second in goals per game behind Lehigh. Of course, Lehigh had 28 goals through 2 games. And that was a shot Colgate ball, but Garber able to get the save, and they send it back out now. Phillips bringing it up for the Terriers. Strong clearance. Gallup gets the ball now over to Lay on the right to Perfetti behind the net. Perfetti over on the left side. BU taking their time. Obviously, they have the lead. They're in no rush to give Colgate the ball back. But Hilburn working the ball now. 49 seconds left, 48 and counting. Hilburn back over to the midfield with Quadrino. Quadrino taking his time. They're going to see the Terriers try to ice the clock out as much as they can for the shot clock that will allow it. Of course, trying to set up some good plays as well. Quadrino working in now using his speed. He finds space. He rips a shot and he scores. Quadrino with another goal to make it 15-11. Christian Quadrino, his 8th goal of the season. And just a play drawn up to perfection. If you're the Terriers and you're up at this point with just a few minutes left, you want to run the clock down as much as possible, but without getting any, free turnovers. You still want to run the clock out, but get some good offense. And it seems like Colgate was sort of lulled to sleep there as Hilburn and Quadrino went back and forth, just waiting to get some time out and see an opening. And it looks like they're going to get a man-up opportunity as well. Yeah, that was Owen Callahan. He slashed Quadrino as he was going in, and Quadrino was still able to score. So on top of the goal to make it 15-11 with just under 2.5 to go, BU will have another man-up opportunity for 1 minute. It's a face-off here. It's picked up by the Terriers. They run it in. It's a shot by D'Alto. He ended up with it, but saved by Collins. And Colgate needs to clear here. 10 seconds left. They're still well in their own half. And they're able to do it. They get across in time. Just under 2 minutes to go here. They need 4 goals in 2 minutes. So they're going to have to act quickly. James Cadigan working behind the net. Sends it over to the right side. That's Manikis working in. He goes all the way back to center field. 1.5 minutes to go. Manikis coming through. Goes behind the net again. Looks for the outlet pass. Finds Spazita. Spazita back out. That's over to Michael Manikis, and he rips a shot and a nice save by Garber. He keeps it a 4-goal lead. He's coming out to help Ellerton. Just over a minute left, and the shot clock is 1 second longer than the game clock. So the Terriers can hold the ball for the remainder of the game. Hilburn is staying. He passed it back to Quadrino. Quadrino taking his time. Colgate is going to have to force a turnover or something, but Quadrino ducks through 2 defenders, doing a great job of keeping the ball away. He sends it cross field to D'Alto, who's all alone. 33 seconds left, 32, 31. They're going to try to ice the game here. D'Alto tripped up a little bit, eventually loses the ball, but they're going to call a penalty on that. He was tripped up. Or no, I guess, yeah, he was tripped up a little bit there. Seemed questionable, but looks like BU called a timeout instead. There's 17 seconds to go. So trying to get D'Alto out of trouble, risking a quick turnover. Either way, it doesn't seem like Colgate will be able to score quite as many goals as they need to force this game to overtime. So BU will move to 4-1 on the season and 2-1 in Patriot League play, while Colgate drops to 1-3 and 1-1 in the Patriot League. Of course, BU in division play was third just by virtue of being 1-1, while the 2 teams ahead of them, Colgate and West Point, were 1-0 each. So in terms of wins, this will push BU back up to the top of the Patriot League North division. Lehigh, meanwhile, is 2-0 in the Patriot League South. Loyola Maryland is 1-1. Navy has not played yet. Bucknell and Lafayette are both 0-1. And as far as the North Division with the Terriers, Holy Cross is 0-2. And Colgate, as mentioned, will drop to 1-1. And next week, the Terriers will play Lafayette on March 27th at noon. Look to extend their winning season so far and maintain their lead atop the Patriot League North, as technically that's where they will be after today. Game clock changed to 22 seconds. And Tommy Bork marches in. There was no one in net for Colgate. It seemed like an empty net for Colgate for whatever reason. And Bork gets an easy goal here, his 4th of the season, his 2nd of the game, 16-11 with 14 seconds to go. And BU is celebrating on the sidelines, as they should. They were down for most of this game. They had to fight back. Colgate made plenty of mistakes in their own defensive end in terms of getting clearances. There were multiple failed clearances, and BU perfect on their clearances today. Colgate better luck with faceoffs, and but other than that, BU with 50 total shots and now 31 shots on goal. As time runs out, BU victorious 16-11 in the comeback victory over Colgate. An impressive win by them. Colgate walking off the field, of course, have to wonder if Mike Hawkins getting knocked out of the game had any impact. Of course it did. That's their top scorer. Of course, Colgate got a couple goals of their own from deep on pretty preventable goals on BU's part. So who knows? Maybe those wash out. Of course, we'll never know for sure. Regardless, BU comes away with the win. The 31 shots on goal compared to 22 for Colgate. They won the ground balls battle as well. BU get 34 ground balls compared to 29 for Colgate. As mentioned, BU perfect on their clearances, 23 of 23, while Colgate 7 failed clearances. Obviously, those turnovers are going to be major differences. And Colgate with 21 turnovers compared to BU's 13. So obviously a major difference. And of course, Colgate with 4 penalties as well compared to BU's 2. So we mentioned at half, this is very similar to what the case was at half. Colgate, more shots on goal, but losing in practically every other battle except for faceoffs. And the tide turned for BU to come back into this game after being down 2 at halftime and down as many as 4 for the entire game. And instead, they win by 5 to extend their winning stretch. They got up to 4-1 overall in the season, 2-1 in the Patriot League. And that'll do it for us here. I'm Joe Pohorillas. Thanks for listening today. Make sure to catch BU men's lacrosse back here next week against Lafayette. But for now, I'm Joe Pohorillas signing off. Thank you for listening to Patriot League Lacrosse on WTBU Sports, and have a great day.